Yes, sir. What's up? What's up? What's up, Hodges? You are tuned in to your new favorite podcast, the HUP, the Hodges University podcast. Man, this has been a long time coming. I've been waiting. You've been waiting. As I like to say, the streets have been waiting as well. I am so excited. Welcome back. Episode 2 is here at your head top. Man, as I told y'all in the first podcast, man, I have some extraordinary guests coming in. And I'm so excited today. Episode 2. Episode 1 was huge. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys liked it. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep doing all those good things you do to your podcast. And you can find us once again on anywhere you listen to a podcast. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere. All you got to do is type in the HUP, Hodges University podcast, and you will see us. Click play, and the rest is history. Man, I am joined today, right now, right here, with Hodges' very own President, Dr. John Meyer. Dr. John, it's a pleasure to have you here.
TJ, it is my pleasure. I've never seen so much enthusiasm at this hour in the morning of my life. Good for you.
As I told you pre-show, this is my time to shine. The mornings is where I get off. I like to say, I like to get everything off, get everything done.
Get it rolling.
Get energy out and get energy back.
So I notice you have a cattle prod over there. That's a good thing to have, because if I start to, lose energy, just hit me with the cattle prod. I'll come right back.
No worries. I got you. How you feeling today?
I'm good.
I'm glad to have you here once again.
Clearly, you're good.
I'm glad to have you here. This is a podcast that has been primed and ready for this university.
Yep.
I guess my first question is, how do you feel about having a podcast here at the university?
Listen, I think it's great. I think if you were relying on me to do the podcast, we'd still be waiting. So I think it takes somebody like you that has the talent and the ability and the know-how and the enthusiasm.
Yes, that's important.
I mean, this was your project, and you spearheaded this and moved it forward. So congratulations on that. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And it's been a joy preparing for this. It's been a joy getting everything ready. And I'm glad we're here.
Oh, I felt every bit of that.
We're here with episode 2. And once again, I'm glad to have you here. And I've been telling our guests, I've been telling our listeners that we have a nice setup here. We have a nice studio here.
It's a beautiful studio.
Yeah, and it's built from the ground.
Yep.
Here at Hodges, a lot of people don't know this, but we like to kind of build things from the ground. That's kind of important.
We're entrepreneurial, and that's how we roll. That's
Absolutely.
What we do.
All right, Dr. John, let's get into it, shall we?
Sure.
Man, What's HUP, the podcast is here. Dr. John, the president of Hodges University, is in the building. Dr. John, let's just start. Let's open it up. The listeners are here. We have you here. Just tell me, what was for dinner last night? Let's open it up. Just tell me, what did you have for dinner last night?
Well, I don't always eat dinner. I did last night, so This was good that you asked the question. So my wife and I go to the supermarket, go to Publix once a week, like most of the rest of America. And a couple of weeks ago, they had some steak on sale. It was like $7 a pound off. And I'm always, looking for a deal. So a couple of them looked okay, so I got those, put them in the freezer. And then yesterday, pulled a few out, threw them on the grill. So that was dinner.
Oh, it was time, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Are you a big steak guy?
Not a huge steak guy.
Okay.
I won't eat it every day, but I will. It's no good for you.
When time calls.
Put it on the grill. And yesterday was beautiful. It was sunny, warm.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day for steak. A beautiful day to grill as well.
Perfect grill day. That's right.
I have to ask, how do you like your steak? How do you like it cooked? How do you like it prepared for you?
Medium.
Okay, that's the way to go.
Not too well done, not too red.
Dr. John, you will get us millennials, like some of us like our steaks a little bit on the well side. How do you think about? What do you feel about that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Better that than on the unwell side.
Very important. Very nice. Well, to answer that question as well, for dinner, Sunday, I like to go light on Sundays. So I'm more of like a pizza roll snack type of guy on Sundays.
I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you there.
Wings.
Around 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Sunday kind of
I'll
reminds
eat about
me.
400 of them, but yes.
Exactly. Sunday reminds me of football. I know we're out of football right now, but I'm still in that, that mood of food, of snack food, of, little bar food and stuff like that. Well, that was my dinner. It was wings, and I had some little potato skins that I learned how to make.
Those.
I learned how to make those.
Love those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you a big cooker?
No.
Oh.
No. If I cook, people get sick, so I don't cook much. I don't even eat much, and I don't know if you've heard anything about this idea of calorie restriction, but if you don't eat 3 squares a day, if you hold off even once a week, it's good for you.
That don't sound like fun.
To each his own, right? It doesn't bother me, and I think it's good for you at the cellular level.
Okay.
Keep you young.
Okay, that's a good point. I'm gonna write that one down.
And I'm 130 years old. I look at it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Very nice. All right, what about this? When is the last time you did something new? Maybe not new, or maybe something you haven't did in a while.
That's a really good question. Something I haven't done in a while.
Yes, or something new.
Or something new.
Yes. While you think about it, I would give you mine.
Okay.
Over the past weekend, I got my car. Her name is Cynthia. Yes, my car has a name. Cynthia. I got Cynthia fully detailed from, I guess, can you say from front to back? Or
Yep.
Yes,
yeah, you sure
front
can.
to back, full detail for the first time. Had my car for about 4 years now, and I have never got it fully detailed like I got it the past weekend, and it shocked me. I couldn't believe that someone can get your car back to pristine, like you fresh, like you just bought it.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I did something new, or I haven't got it, my car detailed, period. So it was very nice and refreshing to sit in
It is nice.
a nice, clean shampoo.
And all inside the door jams clean, under the hood clean.
It's spots that I look at now and wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know they had paint on them.
So yeah, that was something for me that I haven't did at all. It was something new, and I think they got a regular customer, Dr. John.
A
regular customer, they got me. So yeah, that's something new that I did. Anything
so
for
I
you?
realized why I forgot and wasn't thinking about the new thing that it is, because the new thing causes me a lot of trauma. So I had to get a new phone, and these are always difficult things. It takes me a long time to figure out all the new stuff and what to say yes to, what to say no to get the files to get transferred over properly from the old phone, to make sure everything works. I've been putting this off in probably 6 months, So I finally bit the bullet, got the phone, and yesterday did the deal.
Listen.
It works.
It works. But messing around with new phones, that's a whole job within itself.
Oh.
I'm glad you made it through.
I did. I almost needed counseling, but I made it.
Very nice. And did you want help? Did you need help? Or did you say, nah?
Google was my friend.
There you go.
We got a few things Googled, and then my son, he was able to bail me out on a couple of things.
Okay. Okay, very nice. Good. So you phoned a friend.
I phoned a friend.
Very nice, and they helped. Very nice, man. Those phones can definitely be a struggle. Very nice. Okay, so far, so good, Dr. John. So far, so good. My last icebreaker question is this. Whenever you are having a new account, or whenever you have to log in, whenever you hit anything new, there's always security behind it. Whenever you get to a security question, there's a bunch of security questions to scroll through and to choose from. Mm-hmm. Which one, if you can think, is your favorite security question?
So I don't like any of them. I don't like the whole thing with security questions and passwords, and every site now wants a password and a fingerprint and a sample of your DNA and two-factor authentication and all of this stuff. It drives me insane. And how are you supposed to remember? Right?
Exactly.
Now, if you were to force the issue, I would tell you there's usually one that says, what was your first car?
Okay.
And so I'll pick the first car.
That's a good one. First car.
That's
an easy one. What was your first car, by the way?
My first car was a Dodge Coronet.
Listeners, we got them, We got them. Dodge Coronet. What color was that?
It was like a coppery bronze.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds pretty nice.
It was.
Very
It was. Now,
nice.
that color actually made a comeback, and you can get it on the new Challengers.
Look at that. Someone knows, guys.
Yeah.
Someone definitely knows. That's like a nice, cool car to have as a first car.
It was okay. I wanted a Charger, couldn't find one, but I got the car, and that's basically the same, but it was a little, mom and popped.
Kind of like the generic version.
Yeah.
Very nice. It worked out. I'm glad it worked out. Very nice.
It did.
Very nice. Very nice. My favorite security question, if I have to go, was definitely, I think it's your first street name or your street address or something like that.
Okay.
Something. Yeah, that's, as a kid, you always remember your first address or your first street name.
Yeah.
That's an easy go-to for me. I won't tell you.
Your mother probably drilled that into you.
Yes, for sure. So everyone kind of knows that.
In case you got lost.
Yes.
Or you were crying, sitting on a street corner crying, somebody pick you up.
Been there before.
Where do you live? Yeah.
Definitely been there. Very nice. Listeners, check in with us. Let us know what's your answer to your favorite security question. Something new that you did for the first time. Or maybe what is something you had for dinner? Something random, but nice. Dr. John, thank you for those icebreaker questions. Very nice. I'm pretty sure someone learned something new about you today.
So I'm pretty sure I will never use the what was your first car security question again.
We got them, listeners. We got them. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for that, Dr. John. All right, man. You are listening to The HUP. What's HUP? Your favorite podcast. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure you like, subscribe, tune in, bring a friend, do all that good stuff. Right here. What's HUP? All right, Dr. John, let's keep rolling into it. So far, so good. I'm glad you're here. Episode 2, we're rolling. So far, so good. I guess let's get into it. We know you are the president here at the university. Well, I know. Can you tell us, what do a president do at a university? Like, what's some of your daily tasks? Because honestly, Dr. John, I have no idea. I know you're the president, but what do you do?
My wife has a friend, and he said, well, what's he do all day? He's just a figurehead. And, of course, that's not exactly right. Honestly, TJ, it depends on the day. Some days I am out most of the day. I'm meeting people. I'm giving presentations. I'm sitting on panels. I'm doing that kind of stuff. I'm on a bunch of different boards out in the community, so I'll find myself at board meetings or at subcommittee meetings or stuff like that, or preparing for those meetings. Oh, my goodness, I do presentations here. There's a ton of, sort of mundane clerical work, contracts that have to be reviewed and signed, expense reports that get reviewed and signed. It's a long, long list of stuff.
I can tell. It almost sounded exhausting as you was talking. Would you say it's exhausting or exhilarating?
It's exhilarating. Yeah,
it's nice.
Exhilarating.
That was quick. Very nice.
Yeah. This is, it's exhilarating. It wouldn't be exhilarating if this were a shoe store. It's exhilarating because of who we are and what we do. It's as simple as that. Our students, our faculty, our staff, we are cool.
So it's not you that makes it go, it's
not me. It's not me.
Very nice.
It's not me. It is definitely the faculty and staff who make it go. I'm a cheerleader, and I cheer when things go, but no, I don't make it go.
Very nice. That's good to know. And I can tell that it is the people that makes it go, because whenever someone brings something up, you are right behind it. Whenever someone talk about you, it's always in a good light. So I can tell, yes, you are the figurehead, but a good leader as well, I can tell. So that's...
Well, thank you.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's very nice. And Dr. John, as a president of a university or period, I guess I would like to know, is it easy to be accessible to you? Is it easy to people to talk to you, to touch you, to just sit down and talk, even though with your busy schedule?
So I've worked in different places, of course, in my life. And I worked at one place that shall remain nameless, where the president was absolutely unavailable and unapproachable. In fact, if you wanted to see the president, you couldn't call or even send an email. You had to go to his office, and office was probably bigger than this building. You'd go into his office, and there was a gatekeeper receptionist, nice woman, but very sharp-eyed and fearsome, and she would not let you get past her desk without knowing why you were there and what you wanted. And if it was to see the president, you'd get the look, and then you'd get an appointment probably 30 or 40 days out. And that was the best you were going to do.
Wow.
That was the best you were going to do. And then when the 30 or 40-day period came and you roll in and you've got your paperwork or whatever it is you want to talk about or him to review or whatever, you better be on top of it, because if you thought you had an hour, you really only had about 40 minutes. And she would come and chase you out.
Wow.
So I learned from that what not to do. So there are times when I have to close my door and get something done. There's a deadline and I got to meet it. But for the most part, I try to be available to people. I have regular meetings scheduled with the people who directly report to me. I wander around the halls from time to time. And it's important to me that people feel that they can talk to me, that they can kid around with me, that they can be themselves with me. It's this idea of people having to be somebody else when the boss is around is a really bad idea.
Yes, and that's a big stereotype as well. Or maybe it isn't a stereotype, but
depends on where you are.
Exactly. And sometimes it can be, kind of scary getting to the president or getting to your boss, because all the gatekeepers and all the security they have to even touch them or be accessible. So personally, I like to thank you for that, for being approachable and being accessible, because that's important.
It is important.
That's
important.
Thank you
for saying that. And
absolutely.
I don't think you're afraid of me, so that's good.
No.
Wait a minute. You should be a little more afraid than that.
Yeah, I try to be, I guess.
All right. We'll work on that.
Very nice. Very nice. So that's very good to know that here at Hodges University that the president, our president, is approachable. He is accessible. And to piggyback off that, for example, guys, I sent him an email, and he sent me an email back so fast it scared me. And like, how's he not busy right now? But that's the kind of, president that he is, and it's appreciated. Very nice. To go into the next question, what is kind of your personal mission for the university as the president?
So for me, my personal mission for this institution is really what it's always been. We're all about, in my view, I was going to say workforce education, but that's true, but it's not quite true. It's workforce education for the adult student, primarily the adult student, who has had one or more life experiences that prevented him. So most of our students are not 18 years old and right out of high school. A few are, but most of them are 30 years old, 33, 35, 40 years old, and not right out of high school. It's been a while. Most of them are a little bit nervous about coming back to school. Most of them feel like it was a very long time ago that they last sat in a classroom and did anything. But most of them are driven and are looking for a promotion or to change their careers or to otherwise change their lives. And you've heard me say in meetings, what we do here at Hodges University is we change people's lives. And that's not hyperbole. That's true. We do. All you have to do is go to commencement and see people or talk to people, and you can see not only did we help them change their lives, we help them change the lives of their family for all time. It's really very powerful, very cool stuff. So for me, that's really what we do, and that's what, even though I don't like mornings, that's what gets me up in the morning and gets me here.
There we go. We found something. There we go.
We did.
Very nice.
And what you may not know, or the listeners may not know, is I was one of those students back in the 90s. And there was no Florida Gulf Coast University. There was no FSW offering bachelor's degrees. There was none of that. And I was in my mid-30s, and I knew I needed to go back to school, and I knew that I needed to do something different. Oh. And we were then called International College, but this institution was here for me. It was a great experience for me as a student. And so here we are, fast forward.
So it's just not a personal mission, but it's a personal mission.
It's a personal mission.
That's a little different when you've been there, when you've been in it, and you know those emotions, you know those feelings of going through that process.
So I've got more than 22 or 23 years of my adult life connected to Hodges. That's significant.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It is. So, either as a student or as a faculty member or as the president.
That's huge. So it wasn't an outside to come in. outsider to come in and be an insider. As an insider, being an insider.
Yeah.
That's big. That's huge, Dr. John, because I'm sure a lot of listeners, a lot of people did not know that about you. That's awesome to know that you are an insider.
So now you take that and my first car, and we're building a security profile here we didn't even know about.
We're getting something.
We're getting there.
We're getting something out of this. We're definitely going somewhere. Very nice. I do see you walk around. I do see you pretty often, which is like I said, it could be scary because why is he not busy, guys? And I do see you most of the time with a smile on your face, which is also refreshing for me to see our fearless leader with a smile on his face, which automatically gives me a smile. I have to ask you, how and why do you walk around with a smile? What gives you that Hodges smile?
So I believe in a sense of humor. And often when I meet somebody new, one of the first things I try to gauge is that person's sense of humor. What is it that the person finds amusing?
Yes.
And you've met people that have no sense of humor, right? I worry about them sometimes because I think it's an indication of who you are as a person, your native intelligence, what kinds of things, how you view the world, right? So if you're serious all the time and you're walking around with a frown and you're pessimistic, nothing good's going to come of that ever. But if you can be serious about what you do, take your work seriously, know that it's important, but still find the ability to goof off a little bit or joke around a little bit.
That's a skill.
Pick on people a little bit.
That's a skill.
And they pick back. That's good. That's good. And that's what I think it's just who I am, and it's an important thing.
And I think that's a trait that everyone recognizes, and people warned me about that. I didn't know. I didn't know how to feel about it until I met you. And just like you said, you gauged my sense of humor pretty quick. And I appreciate that because...
Well, you have a good sense of humor. And you dialed right into it right away.
It let my shoulders down a little bit. And, so I do appreciate that. Guys, you are listening to the HUP, the Hodges University podcast. I'm sitting here with Hodges' very own president, Dr. John Meyer. He's dropping some gems right now. And it's a lot of people, who do not know who Dr. John is. So I'm glad you are tuning in and you're getting some good insights. You even got a security question answered. How about that?
We should charge for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to write that one down. Very nice. And we are listening to the Hodges University podcast. What's HUP? Hodges.
Well done.
All right, Dr. John. We're getting through this pretty well. How you feeling right now? You feeling okay?
Good.
Very nice, man.
Feeling good.
I'm so glad to have this product out to the world. The world needed this.
I think so.
So very nice.
You're a natural. This is good.
Thank you for that. We're rolling, and let's keep getting into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Very nice. How about we talk to the students who are on the fence or on the edge? They don't quite know what career to choose, where to go. What will be your message to those students?
Oh my goodness! So that is the message, right?
Yep.
So I think I can only really go by my own experience and the experiences that I've heard from students over the years. But I think it goes something like this. I think you wake up one morning and you have some vague feeling of dissatisfaction. You don't like your work. You don't like your job, you don't like your boss, or you don't like your coworkers, or you don't feel like you're making a difference in the world, or you feel like, is this all there is? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Maybe you're having a little midlife crisis. You're 35 and sort of looking at your belly getting a little larger or something going, is this all there is? And then you think, I'll think about that later. I have to get ready and go to work. And you do. But that's when the seed gets germinated, right? When you have that thought right there. And I think probably most people have that thought at some point in their lives. And it's usually, I'm going to say very late 20s, early 30s that thought creeps in. Now, you would not take that thought and go, I'm going to move to Idaho, or I'm going to join the military, or you're not going to have the solution. And you're certainly not going to say, well, I'm going to go to college. Because going to college is a scary thing. You think about money and you think about time and who's going to do what with the kids, and oh my goodness. So those are not thoughts that come into your head. The thought that comes into your head is, I'll think about it tomorrow.
Yep.
And then maybe you don't think about it until the next Sunday night when you're like, oh man, tomorrow's Monday morning and your work start all over again. And so it takes time for this to build. But at some point you say to yourself, or maybe you've talked to your friends or your family or whomever, and you say to yourself, I really always wanted to be a nurse. I wonder if it's too late. Or I wanted to be an accountant, a CPA. Wouldn't it be cool to be a CPA? But I wonder if it's too late. And so for whatever it is that you think I always wanted to, or I'm not sure if, or why didn't I, the answer is to those questions is, well, you didn't, but it's never too late, and you can do that now. And when you get to that point, this is what I would say to the person on the fence. If that person is on the fence, he or she's probably already at that point. Anyway, come and talk to Dennis or one of his people in admissions just to see what your options are. No one is going to say to you, you must sign up now, sign here, do this. But they will talk to you, and they'll help you try to figure out what are your options, what's the best path for you, what is Hodges University or a program at Hodges University the thing that's going to help you feel fulfilled and help you get where you want to be. And for some people, the answer is absolutely. For other people, maybe the answer is no. And if that's the deal, and we know what the answer is, we'll tell you.
Very nice. Very well said. Very nice. And I can agree with a lot of those points. The first point is, you're right. You get to that turning point. You get to that fork in the road, and you either keep going left, the way you keep going, or you can go right. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what it comes down to.
That's exactly right.
There is no either other way to put that, and that was very well said. Another thing you said is options. Yes, you do have options. There is no, you don't have to just bail out and just say, okay, nope, not going to happen. There is options, especially here at Hodges University. And your very first step is talking to admissions.
That's right.
That's where you get all your answers from, all your...
And even if the answer you get is go back to doing what you were doing and put a smile on your face, that's okay too. If you're unsure about what you're doing or where you're going, the goal is to get sure, not to necessarily change. The goal is just to clarify your thinking. And often it's not the kind of thing you can do on your own, because if you could, you wouldn't be confused.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's why we have experts.
That's right.
To help you with that. Very nice. Guys, if you're on the fence, you're listening right now, you're on the fence, you heard that you have options. You heard that once you are at that turning point, there is an option for you. There are careers to choose from to keep your life going or to change your life. Choose wisely. Very nice. Very nice. So, Dr. John, that was for the students. Now let's get into the faculty and staff. They love to hear from you, especially in the meetings. Well, I know I do, because you always have some kind of little motivational phrase or something motivational in there that gets me. I remember the last meeting you said, go do it or go get it.
Go get it, yep.
And that really spoke to me a little bit, and I thought that was important because what I'm doing as far as the social media here, it just gives me that push, from my end. So as far as the faculty and the staff, what's your message to them? I know you always have, some kind of good message for them, but right now at this current moment, what kind of message do you have for the staff and for the faculty?
So the message is now and is always, we're here for our students, period. And most of our faculty and a lot of our staff are or were in the place where some of our students find themselves, right? So most of our faculty members did not come up through the ranks, so to speak, to become faculty members. Most of them went on, got their initial education, went and did something different, were in business or were in some other professional career. Many of them went back to school, to graduate school later in their lives, got their master's or doctorate later in life, and came to education as maybe a second or even third career. That's a really, really, really good thing, because it gives that person, that faculty member, a depth of experience and a perception that he or she otherwise might not have gotten. Normally, in a traditional institution, your faculty members sort of were born to be faculty members. They went to school and they went on this faculty member track and went into the world, and that's what they did. That ours are very much different. And so the message really is to make sure they remember that, to make sure they think about that. So when you're standing in a class or you're online looking in the Zoom or whatever it might be, and you're looking at a student, remember that you were that student 20 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago.
And Dr. John, it amazes me how most of the faculty and staff, like you said, came from Hodges.
Or from some other industry. They higher education was not their first choice or their first job or their initial career. This is a third, really, career for me. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can tell that the faculty and staff takes it personal.
They absolutely do.
Take it very personal, and that's one of the gems, one of the key gems here at Hodges University is that outside of the traditional one, the traditional university, the traditional schools, this one has a different personal feel. I feel like the professors, the directors, they grab you.
Yeah.
Like they don't, hey, they grab you, they grab you in, they engage you. And that's the kickstart that you get from Hodges. Once you get grabbed by one of these professors, one of these directors.
It's just a metaphorical grab. They're not really physically grabbing you.
Exactly.
I think you go to jail if you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a huge plus and a huge gem for the university. And then once again, I think it starts from the top. It starts from the top. So that's all right, guys. You guys are still on the fence. You guys have more than one reason to be on the other side of the fence. Very nice. Very nice. Dr. John, what about as far as Hodges being Hodges? Hodges is very unique because of the things you mentioned. The personal atmosphere, the positive atmosphere. We didn't even mention building you yet.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we keep Hodges Hodges? And also, how do we keep Hodges trending in an upward position?
So I don't think we have any difficulty at all in keeping Hodges Hodges because of who we are, who is on our faculty, who's on our staff, the kinds of students we attract, the stories that they tell, the experiences that we get through the eyes of our students. I just don't see us being anybody different. That's always who we've been for 32 years. That's who we've been. And I see us doing that forever. And that, to me, that's the easy part. The harder question is, how do you keep going up?
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of moving parts about the going up. Remembering that going up too far is probably the worst thing that we could do, because you want to, there's a sweet spot to how many students you can serve in the ways that we've been talking. And if you get too large, there's no way that you can do that. If you're offering too many programs, you lose your ability to do some of that. So the challenge is to find the right number of programs to support the right number of students, but also at the same time to have that programming serve the community, right? So the students are here because theoretically they're going to get employed when when they're graduated, and we do very, very well on that metric. One of the reasons we do well on that metric is the programming we offer is needed by the community. But this is a moving target. Stuff changes every day. New industry moves in here. New companies move in here. New things are happening all the time. And for us, it's important to recognize that, develop programs that address those needs. And by the way, those programs don't have to be degrees. They don't have to be a 4-year investment of time and money. It could be a 4-week, 4-month investment of time and money, which is a very, very different thing, but just as important.
Wow, very unique university, very unique within itself. And the people who are here inside can tell you how unique this university is. It sounds like we have to find a sweet spot.
Like many things in life, it's about finding the sweet spot, right?
Finding the sweet spot.
Not too much steak, just enough. Just enough.
Put the rest in the freezer. Pack the rest up, freeze it.
Have it tomorrow, the next day.
Very nice. Not being too high and definitely not being too low.
Right.
Finding that sweet spot is what we're doing here at Hodges University. Man, this has been a great podcast so far. I'm glad you guys if you guys are still here, thank you if you're still here. It's been a great show lined up. Episode 1 was fantastic. Episode 2 here, the president of Hodges, Dr. John Meyer, has been a great episode so far. Man, we have more exclusive guests. Every guest on here is going to be exclusive, by the way, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. So when I say exclusive, not only Dr. John, but every guest after him will be exclusive as well. So make sure you keep tuning in. You keep coming back. You keep sharing. You keep telling your friends. Hey, even tell the other universities. Hey, Hodges has a podcast, guys. Take a listen. Even tell them. That's cool.
Absolutely. I'm never afraid to tell them.
That's cool with us as well. You can find us on every platform. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find the HUP, the Hodges University podcast. It's been a great show so far, Dr. John. Thank you so much.
Thank you, TJ.
For joining the HUP. What's HUP? Man, I'm so excited about this venture for the university and for myself as well. Yeah.
Well, I owe you for this one. This was all you. This was your idea. This was your effort. You said, I want to do this. And I said, can you do this? You said, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
In episode 2.
Yeah.
Very nice. This is a huge part of the podcast where, we give a shout out. It can be multiple shout outs. It can be a person, place, or even a thing. But who would you like to give a hawk out to today?
Well, I kind of already shouted out to you, so I won't do that again. But I think there are two people this is where you get in trouble if you're the president, because if you single anybody out, everybody else goes, why didn't you say so? Right. So, but I'm going to shout out to two different people. The first is to Dennis Golden in admissions.
Yes.
Dennis is a rock star, and there's no two ways about that. Very professional, calm, motivated individual. He's done amazing things in the short time that he's been here, and I'm thinking about putting some super glue in his chair so we make sure he stays here. So that's one shout out. The other one is to somebody you probably don't know.
Okay.
So we are, in a few days, we will have a new vice president of workforce starting here. His name is Adrian Kerr. Adrian is also a rock star.
Shout out to Adrian.
Shout out to Adrian.
Very nice.
Yeah. And so he's not technically here yet, but he will be in a few days.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And part of his domain will be some of those shorter term training. So we have, a lot of people don't even really know this, but we have an entire other side to the university that is not just the academic side where you get a degree. We have the whole non-credit side. So that's where Todd Reynolds is doing his thing. That's where Michelle Zamniak is doing her thing. And now we're going to add Adrian Kerr to that mix so that we can expand our offerings in that arena. These are the short-term workforce kinds of training opportunities that people have to have. In many cases, that's all they need to have if they're going to move ahead.
Wow.
And in many cases, they can get the training and it can count for college credit later. So this is the most dynamic, most entrepreneurial part of the university.
Wow. So this is how we go up.
This is how we go up.
You said this is how we go up. Very nice. So we're adding more.
Adding more.
Very
Correct.
nice.
Yeah, this is very cool. Yeah.
Wow. Very nice.
And this will be the most fluid, most dynamic, most entrepreneurial part of what we do.
Wow. Very nice.
See, and you didn't even know.
I did not know.
I was keeping that a secret.
Like I said, we drop gems here.
It's not a secret
on
anymore.
the HUP. Very nice. That's awesome.
And that's 3 things so far.
Shout out to Dennis. Shout out to Adrian, man. You guys get hawk outs for today. My hawk out. Wow. I guess I'm piggybacking, but recently, I mentioned this in the first episode, the health fair that we had recently was phenomenal. And I want to give my hawk out to everyone who even touched it. I'm talking about from the helpers, from the workers, to the sponsors, to the people who came out. Anyone who touched foot in the health fair, my hawk out is to you. I learned something new about myself, Dr. John, in the health fair, so that's why it's get a big hawk out for me. I'm not afraid to share the information. I actually gained 10 pounds.
Did you?
And I am so excited about that. I've been trying to gain weight for a long time. Almost the past 10 years, I've been trying to gain weight. So to see that I gained 10 pounds and recently that made my day.
In this country, most people wouldn't feel bad for you that you can't gain weight. I got the same problem. I can't gain weight either. And when you gain a little bit, if you've been trying to, it's a moment. It's a moment.
It was a big deal for me at the health fair. I was shouting. I was like cheering at myself. And yeah, that's what the health fair did for me. And my hawk out goes to anyone who, shout out to you guys.
That was a great event.
It was.
Everybody who was there was, you want to talk about a bunch of people smiling? Everybody there. This was a Saturday morning. People volunteering their time to be there, and they were happy and engaged, smiles everywhere. It was great.
And yes. Very nice. So, yeah, it's very nice, man. That's a great way to wrap up the show. Just to touch on some stuff that we talked about. You guys learned some stuff about our president, Dr. John Meyer. You even got an answer to one of his security codes. Look at that. Man, he talked about what are we doing here at Hodges and how can we go up. His personal mission for the university. I think it's important to have, your university mission and then for the president to have his own underlying mission. That's kind of important because I'm sure both of those work both ways and together can only go up from there. So very nice. He talked about what brings us smiles to his face at Hodges. Very nice. Prospective students, the ones who's on the fence, you guys do have options. Once you get to that turning point, that fork in the road, look at Hodges. Look at us. Talk to admissions. Get some answers. Get some questions maybe as well. But you do have options. Look for us. We are going up. We are going up. Shout out to all our faculty, all our staff that's here at Hodges. I love the smiling faces. I love the inside jobs you guys do that people do not know about. Shout out to all the faculty, all the staff, all our students. And the big one is shout out to Building U. If you guys are on the fence as well, just come over and take a look at Building U. Yeah, take a tour.
Just walk through. We'll walk you through, show you the classroom, show you the labs. I think you're going to be amazed.
Absolutely. Very nice. Dr. John, I think we did it.
I think we did
it. Very nice. You
didn't even have to use the cattle prod. How
I did not.
That?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Man, you are listening. If you're still here, you are listening to your new favorite podcast, the Hodges University podcast. What's up?